Continuăm seria celor 10 episoade de la Everything HR cu speakerii care au vorbit la cea mai frumoasă conferință de resurse umane și management din zona aceasta Europei, episodul 7.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for your speech. How is it for you at this conference?
I've been really enjoying it. I've been very taken care of, which is really nice. And it's, very clear where I need to be and when I'm talking, and lots of great speakers, and it's good. I'm enjoying it. And the audience, they didn't necessarily stand up when I asked them to, but they are definitely participating. I can see from their faces. It's good.
Okay. So, about the topic of the conference.
Yeah.
What human skill will matter more in the age of AI?
Critical thinking. Absolutely critical thinking. I used to joke, hence the Robot Proof Recruiter is like a bit of a joke, the title of my book, and it was tongue in cheek. People won't be replaced by technology. But now with AI, the teams are reducing in size.
Yeah.
So you need to show your value and show your worth, whatever you're doing in the knowledge sector. So you need to engage your brain. So 100% critical thinking is a skill that hasn't been taught for decades, and that anybody who's working in the knowledge sector needs to get better at and implement and future-proof themselves.
How do you train that?
It's so complex, and that's why it hasn't been taught. They thought, we would teach it at school, but really we haven't been. So I think the best thing to do is go on to places like criticalthinking.org and start reading and start there. But there's so much to it, because you need a level of self-awareness of, what am I thinking? Is it biased in itself? Am I reacting? Because for me, it would be past trauma that can make me react in situations. And then what are they saying? What they're saying make sense? Does the AI output make sense? And then you're bringing it all together and having a well-rationed conversation. It's a lot. And again, we haven't been taught. So I think it's get curious and get online and look for courses, look for any information you can to learn how to engage. Just engage this, please. It's so easy to just go, I'll just run a search and just use that. And it's like, you can't. You just can't.
How can you protect, or leaders in general can protect the human energy in this AI world?
I think, in particular, when, again, it comes to HR and talent acquisition, leaders need to understand that humans run the business. I think somewhere along the way we've forgotten, and it's like, finance runs the business, or sales. No, humans. Humans are the ones that came up with the idea to start the business, to, develop it, to sell, and all of the stuff that they do, create the products. And I think particularly for HR and TA, they need to understand that, one is the person recruiting people for other people, and then you've got the people taking care of those people to retain them, and all that intellectual property and all their skills and knowledge. And so I just think that they need to remember that it is people. The technology supports, it doesn't replace. And I think from, particularly public companies where you've got shareholders to appease, that can be really tough. But it has to happen. It's people.
What uncomfortable advice would you give to today's leaders or managers?
I think a lot of, this is really uncomfortable. Not for me, for them. I think there are a lot of leaders who are my generation, so the Generation X, possibly the older millennials, who have trauma. They have a lot of stuff that's come down. There's still war trauma coming down. There's still generational trauma coming down. And the thing is, we don't leave that at home. We take it into work. And then we become closed-minded and defensive and not, we don't like it if we're challenged. We don't like it if our young people have great ideas and, maybe show you up. And I think it's really time they started healing their stuff. And I know that sounds crazy, but we're human beings and we go to work and we take it to work. And I think of before I healed my stuff, how different I was and how I was closed-minded. I was defensive. I just wouldn't listen. And I was really difficult to work with. And I think as a leader, you can't be like that. And I think to succeed going forward, they just, the world has to change. And also because I think the generations coming through just aren't going to tolerate it. And if you do want to have people start and stay, then you've got to nurture them and show them the way and again, be open-minded. So heal your crap.
If you are not okay with, you are not going to be okay with the team.
Yeah. So
It's
much
easy
stuff
to say,
Yeah, it's hard to do.
hard to do.
Yeah.
What should they do? I mean, if you have to advise to do something, I don't know, daily or weekly or with themselves, but not only with the team.
Yeah, I think for me it was I actually went and saw a coach about my career, and then she just went, hang on a minute, because she saw my trauma and she started working on my trauma. So I worked with a coach for ages who did do stuff that would fall on the therapy side. But I think that a great coach, a great business coach, someone who's going to hold a mirror up to your behavior and say, oh, that's interesting. Why are you behaving that way? What's that about? And help you to see what you've been doing. Because we run patterns of behavior. We'll always go to the default. I said in my presentation, a thought, it's like a river. It just runs one way. And if you want to change it, it's hard work to get it to change. So I think working with a coach, and then maybe the team would really appreciate having that, having someone to work with one-to-one. And then I was actually really impressed. I just did some work with Specsavers classes, big company, and they bring their team together, the HR and TA team together twice a year to develop them. Plus they have stuff in between. So it's like really investing in the human skills, because then you can use that technology to support and really make them flourish. But it's, I think I would start there. Just being willing to, let's start, even if it's a business coach, if it makes them feel more comfortable with that, what could I do differently?
Do you have a daily routine to be okay with you?
Yeah, I do. I mean, one, I walk my dogs, which is brilliant. So I physically, because I work with myself at home, so you can imagine I could go into a bubble of never leaving the flat. But I'm not listening to anything, which I think is really important. And I go out with my dogs and I walk. And that's when I have all the genius ideas start floating around, and I'm thinking through scenarios. So I do that. But I also meditate. Now, if you told me before I healed my childhood trauma that I would sit and meditate, I would have laughed at you, because I could not sit still. I was busy being busy to not feel. But now, 10, 20 minutes of just, even if you're just breathing, to be honest, just that getting into your body, really thinking through what you're going to do, and then just meditate.
Yeah.
And I love that. And it means that I'm usually calm. So when I don't do it, it's really obvious. I get.
Yeah. Well, for some people, it's hard to go there.
Yeah.
And if you tell them, well, I meditate, they look at you and they are...
You're bonkers.
Yeah. What is happening with you? Are you okay?
Yeah. But I will agree, because that's how I felt, because my trauma was so full on and I was so defensive that, again, and I think if you look at people who work really hard, people pleasers, so workaholics, people pleasers, people with exercise addiction, food addiction, there's so many. All they are is they're numbing a trauma of some description. So if they, again, start with a coach, start with some therapy, heal that, then they will become calm and they'll be able to meditate. But even if you sat and did a breathing exercise for 5 minutes, like breathing properly,
it's great.
It transforms how you interact with people.
Yeah.
Because we can all trigger, we can all have something said to us and we're like, ugh, and then you go, oh, I'm reacting. Well, hang on, let me breathe first. And I think as leaders, you have to be like, I tried to do in my talk is to get people to feel what it's like when they're about to interact with a colleague, and it's like, they don't want to talk to them and they're tense. And it's like, breathe, just breathe through it so that you go in calm and you can have a better conversation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
It was a pleasure. And see you maybe at our next conference.
Well, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.